Well, Elon Musk is a crazy, brilliant, weird genius. And right now, probably the most fascinating businessman in the world. This is a guy who bets the bank on electric cars, on going to space, all this stuff. He's been dreaming this big since he was a 10-year-old kid. He's polarizing. He can be rude and obnoxious, but I never see those as necessarily bad qualities in a human being. Ultimately, he's a visionary, an entrepreneur, and a guy that dreams big. I think all the things that people criticised Keir Starmer for when he became Labour leader are now becoming electoral assets. They said he was too serious. They said he was a bit on the boring side. They said, that he was a lawyer. But when you have a shambolic prime minister, somebody who's loose with the truth, and somebody who prides himself on being able to be a buffoon, then actually, as we've seen in the pandemic, that can be a catastrophic thing for a country. And so I think that Keir Starmer and his qualities are becoming more appealing to the electorate rather than less appealing. I don't understand cultural appropriation. What does it mean? If you're celebrating another culture, what's wrong with that? I'm Irish. So if people put on a green hat and drink a pint of Guinness, would I be offended? No. Why would I? If they put on an Irish accent, would I be offended? No. Why would I? I don't understand this constant need to be offended. There are far more important things in the world to get offended by. So I think cultural appropriation, if you're mocking another culture, is unacceptable. But cultural appropriation, if you're celebrating another culture, is completely acceptable. I don't think it gets plus-size models, and I think, of course, there are lots of plus-size women that want to see stuff that they can buy in magazines and so on. My problem comes when Cosmopolitan put a £310 model on the cover of their magazine with a 5-page interview inside, celebrating the fact that she was morbidly obese. By morbidly obese, I mean she was, I think, 4'11" or 5 foot tall, 310 pounds. So actually, she's going to die if she's not careful because of her excessive body weight. So rather than try and have an inspirational piece about, I've got a real problem, I need to fix it, it was a celebration of morbid obesity, and that will kill people. So we've got to be realistic about the way we tackle these things. It's not healthy to be 310 pounds and 5 foot tall. It's unhealthy to the point where you're going to die. Let's say that and help people lose weight and get fitter. And yes, I include myself in that. The problem with the BBC is it's been overtaken as an institution and the way it runs through this license fee system by the streaming company. So young people are not going to want to pay for the license fee as some form of enforced tax. Now, what they might do is do what they do with Amazon, Netflix, and all the other things you can get as a streaming service, is they might pay the BBC for stuff that they want to watch, but they're not going to do it as an obligation from the state or the government. That clock is ticking. The BBC has to present a compelling enough amount of content that people will want to treat them like a streaming service. And I think the sooner they move to that, the better.